Chapter 2, Special Treatment. Before she starts in school, Candy learns what she wants to through her silver screen and VR sets mostly. Watching cartoons, later drama series, all in any form of entertainment, though her favorite is music and dance. She even finds porn at age 6, sneaking into her father's room and watching his screens to see if he has different shows than her. Sex isn't really a surprise for her. She hears the staff talk about her parents' sex life. Having sex with Mrs. Anderson would be like having sex with a corpse, and there is a fetish for that, but it's not what Mr. Anderson is into. Judging by the screen, Candy's father likes his women alive, naked, with big breasts, with rosy cheeks and their mouths open for his cock. Judging by the comments of the more permanent staff, Mr. Anderson enjoyed the company of the young ladies that came and went as cleaners, tutors, cooks, and other maintenance people. Candy has a few tutors before she starts school when she is 5 and 6. All of them are women, all of them are young, all of them are pretty, and all of them are smart. It's a great opportunity to tutor the child of Mr. Anderson, an honor really, they say. They end up disappointed when she is not interested in their numbers and written words, despite how much they insist that it's useful. Instead, she wants to learn how to dance, how to sing, and how to play the guitar. Candy gets ballet teachers, the only dance lessons she is allowed to take. It's not quite the dances her idols dance, but she is determined to learn. Sadly, her ballet dresses are white or nude, lacking in color, unlike the costumes her idols wear. Her teachers are impressed with her when Candy learns the different movements quite easily. Even if the music isn't what she is used to or even likes, Candy can feel the notes and knows which movement belongs to each of them. It comes naturally to her, moving with purpose and smoothly. From the selection of instruments there is available, Candy chooses the violin. It's the closest thing to a guitar, she thinks, a bit like a smaller guitar really. It has strings and the look is similar. She likes the sounds she can make, notes ringing one by one first, and once she gets the hang of it, she puts them together. Melodies her teachers want her to learn, melodies from her childhood, and later melodies she comes up with. At age 7, Candy starts school with other children, which is a whole different world than the home she had been confined in for the first 6 years. The children there are like her, fair-skinned with blonde or light brown hair with blue or green eyes. Northern European, that look is called Scandinavian. Their uniforms are beige and white and boring, fitting into the colorless background of the school. It's as lacking in color as Candy's home. You look interesting. Let's sit together. Candy picks and chooses a friend the first day, a girl with brown hair and brown eyes and with a bit more color in her skin. She looks more interesting than the rest, even if she looks a bit confused at Candy's words. With a timid nod, she agrees to the friendship. They sit together for a week or two. Candy tells her stories she has seen, about her life, dances for her and plays the violin, while the girl mostly listens to her and watches her in awe. It's all good and fun, but it was time for a change, so she chooses another girl after week 2, and another girl after 2 weeks again. Eventually, she has been through all of the girls in her class, and they all seem to wait for it to be their turn again and follow her around. They always want to do what she does, they want to talk with her, they want to be where she is, they want to see her dance, and they want to do anything she says. It makes Candy smile. The attention feels so good, better than anything she has felt before. She wants more. Through Candy's school years, she gets more and more attention. Admiration, hate, love, jealousy, outrage, rumors, slander, praise, scolding. It was all the same thing really. Attention. All focus on her, which is the important thing. One certain event puts Candy in the spotlight of the whole school permanently. It happens shortly before she turns 8 years old. She plays her violin, practicing for a school performance, and cuts her finger on one of the strings. The pain stings for a moment, and she watches her fingers as red blood drips from the small wound. Vivid in color in this world where everything is white, gray, and beige, devoid of color. It feels vibrant, powerful, she loves it. She is in full color inside, full of blood. She needs more. She needs it to show outside. It takes a while, but Candy is able to cut open her palms with any sharp tool she finds. More blood is flowing from her, more red, more color, more vivid, more alive. She smears it across her white dress and to the ends of her hair, on her cheeks, and her white shoes catch some drops as well. Covered in blood, she enters the stage, ballet steps and perfect melody on her violin. The audience consists of teachers, parents, and children with feet, shock, disgust, with awe, admiration, with all kinds of emotions, all eyes on her. But her father and mother are not among them. They still never look her, a faceless man and a ghost. A new beige room is introduced to Candy's world after this bloody performance. There she sits in a soft white chair with her hands in bandages to heal the wounds on them. A pleasant woman with a soothing voice asks her many questions about her thoughts, about her life, about her family, and about her friends. There is a video camera pointed at Candy as she answers. It's her first interview, just like her idols, so she smiles and answers the questions eagerly, sparing no detail. The interview is sent to Candy's father only, and it's very hard to find and read, but Candy finds it. It has complex words that she doesn't understand. Psychopathic tendencies, narcissistic personality disorder, delusionary worldview. What she does understand is special treatment recommended, which she strongly agrees with. Candy is special, the daughter of a ghost, and she should get special treatment. What doesn't feel like special treatment is when the music teacher decides the following year that Candy's performance should feature another student too, a duo. David plays the piano, has blue eyes and blonde hair, is generally rather quiet, and Candy has not minded him at all. However, she doesn't want to share the stage with him, or with anybody. While performing, there should be no one else getting the attention she deserves. Everyone will love it, the music teacher says, quite proud of herself for the idea. I'm sure they will love me on my own too, Candy tells her with a sweetest voice and her sweetest smile. It usually got her what she wanted. She was fairly good at asking for things to go her way, and she tries to get this to go her way too. Of course they would, Frida. But it's double the love with the two of you on stage, the music teacher insists. Even so, half the love would be for David. So Candy has to think of another way to get David out of the picture. It's the following day, when David has the accident. Tech class is one of the only classes Candy actually enjoys and finds interesting. It's useful for her as she learns how to tube and customize her electric violin. What is also interesting is that a laser cutter could cut through meat and bone. What is also interesting is that a pianist can't play without fingers. What is also interesting is that a 10-year-old can't be liable for accidents in a classroom. Anything that happens is fully the teacher's fault. Though Candy did not actually think about that when she aimed the laser at David's fingers, she just thinks she needs to get rid of him. David screams until he is hoarse or until he is in such shock that he can't function anymore. Candy is unsure which. The room smells of burnt flesh, something Candy hasn't smelled before. It's different from the filtered air she breathed, more real and authentic. It makes her smile. 4 fingers of his left hand cut fresh off. His stupid thumb he could keep. The whole room is in panic, students screaming, some of them laughing, some of them running away. Candy gets to perform the show on her own. She is sent to another beige room for another interview. This one is also just sent to her father, reading many of the strange terms as the last one. It says, in dire need of special treatment, which makes Candy smile. Maybe now they would treat her as the special girl she is. For a while at least no one tries to get her to perform with another person again. She performs on her own. Dolo, the sole center of attention. The interviews continue throughout her school years, and Candy eventually understands that they aren't interviews. She is in therapy with an actual doctor who seems to want to figure her out, to cure her mind. But Candy isn't broken or unwell like her mother. She is more alive and better than anyone else she knows. Once Candy's body develops at age 13, her breasts grow and her hips widen. More is added to the list of attention: lust, desire, and want. In the beginning, it's exciting and new, the attention of boys and men flattering. After a while, it starts to feel too fleeting to care about much at all. This kind of attention went away when the next short-skirted girl skimmed along with her slutty legs and ass hanging out. There is talk about Candy's hot-to-crazy ratio. While she apparently is the hottest girl, she might be too crazy to fuck. She might cut their dicks off like David's fingers, or she might make them drink poison like she did with Clara, who went blind. None of the boys seem worth fucking to her anyway, so she doesn't mind. Some of them deem her hot enough to try and impress her, but she is not that interested in what they have to say. They tell her about what their families own, about the grades they get, about achievements in various activities, nothing that is even vaguely interesting. Sometimes she doesn't even bother answering, just turning her back and walking away. One day she is laying on a lounge chair by herself in between classes. Ever since she cut David's fingers off and poisoned Clara, her peers have been scared of her. Which is quite all right. They all still looked at her, some in fear, others with admiration and various other emotions. It is still attention. She knows they talk about her. Hi, it's a boy's voice that cuts into her peace and quiet. Unusual, the voice doesn't tremor with fear or boast out like the boys that try to impress her. She lifts her eyes from her hands that had played an imaginary tune. It's David, the boy whose fingers she cut off. Hi, she answers, looking up at him and smiles. How is your hand? She asks, looking at his left hand. It had chrome fingers installed into it, white and sleek, wires and mechanics hidden well. Missing 4 fingers, he answers and sits down in the chair next to hers with a smile. He is still quiet, but not as nervous as he was around her 3 years ago. He is tall and lanky now, long limbs and bony structure. They haven't talked since the accident with his fingers, Candy continuing her ballet and violin, performing solo shows, David dropping piano and focusing on tech studies. Don't be mad about that, it makes you interesting. Candy answers him with a sweet smile, dimples on her cheeks and a light in her eyes. The most interesting thing about David is what she did to him after all. In a way, he should thank her. It's a long time ago, I'm over it. David answers her with a roll of his eyes and a sigh. And how are you? I'm special, Candy answers honestly in a singing tone, because she knows she is special. Daughter of a ghost and a faceless man, she still thinks, though it's not really true. Her parents are actual people, the Andersons. They are in the business of owning things, including her as their child. She is the result of their arranged marriage to produce a blonde, blue-eyed heir to their fortune. Her mother didn't even give birth to her. She was developed in an incubation chamber or something like that. She is to be married to one of the boys in this school, who has blonde hair and blue eyes too, to produce another blonde and blue-eyed heir to own things after herself. You sure are, David agrees and looks at her. It's interesting the way he looks at her. It's not fear or lust, which most people looked at Candy with. It's like he is intrigued. He is trying to figure her out, like the doctor that is trying to cure her. Let me see your hand, Candy tells him and gets up from her place on the lounge chair. She seats herself in David's lap, a leg on either side of his hips moving in fairly close. His body reacts to her proximity. He hardens underneath her while she takes his hand with the cybernetic fingers in her own hands to study the fingers. Do you have feeling in your fingers? She asks curiously, running her own fingers across the white, smooth chrome surface. Yes, your father paid for them and my parents wanted the highest quality tech there was. I have them changed as my hands grow. Your father pays for that too. David answers a bit out of breath. His eyes travel between Candy's chest and her face, like he doesn't know where to look. I think Daddy owns one of those companies or like a building they use or something, Candy answers with a shrug. She lets go of his hand and looks at the confused blue eyes looking back at her. You can touch, she tells him with a smile. David touches her tentatively at first, hands on her waist, before he dares to move them to her chest. Eventually, his pants are undone and her underwear is removed and they have sex. While he is the one inside her, Candy is the one fucking him for sure, moving up and down on his cock until they are done. It's quite captivating. She likes the way he looks at her in awe when she moves. This becomes the second most interesting thing about David. He had sex with Candy even though she cut off his fingers. Candy is the most interesting thing that happened to most of the people at the school, but for Candy, it's starting to be quite boring after a while.